How do you measure a manager with one number? That's a great question. We work with companies that are objective driven, not agenda driven. My mind kind of exploded in the last couple of months based on a few things that happened. A couple of months ago, I went to a conference in Denver and there was a young woman about 35 years old speaking on millennials and generation differences. I went to the back door actually because I was going to leave if she just made a bunch of generalizations about millennials, but she was fantastic. My takeaway from her talk was that there's 4 ways, if you're under 40, that you like to be communicated with in terms of preference. First, text. Second, email. Third, social media like Messenger on Facebook. And fourth, phone. If you're under 40 and your phone rings, according to her, and it's probably true, you think it's a salesperson or your mom and dad. Another thing that happened to me was when I stayed at a Fairmont hotel over the last 6 months, they send me this text after I stay with them and it says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how was your stay last night? And I just have to text them a number. I just pick a number and I text it back. It's really simple. I do it every time they ask me. 8 is enough. Anything over 8 and you won't get a phone call. So with that in mind, the second thing that happened to me was I went to another conference and they talk about how easy it is now to set up text programs through software. So these software solutions where you can actually send out texts on an ongoing basis, just like the Fairmont Hotel did. That combined with the fact that most of our employees have cell phones, we can text them and ask them for numbers. So what we would do is we would send out a text message to each one of our employees and they would score that on a basis of 10. And so the first question we would send out 1 month to all our employees would be, I know what's expected of me at work. The second statement, I know how what I do impacts the success of my company. How would they score that on a 10? So the second month, you'd send out that statement and have them respond to that on a scale of 10. The third statement, I like working here. Scale of 10. Get them the response. Now we're not going to follow up. We're not going to force them into responding. We just send them a text and have them respond. And what we'll do is we will create a baseline. What's beautiful about this is we find out how our employees, number 1, if they know what's expected of them, 2, if they know how the purpose of their work, and 3, if they like working here, we'll be able to set up a baseline on how that's going. But the beautiful thing about it is we're measuring our managers. And we can give these numbers to our managers. They can approach the employee and say, hey, you gave 6 out of 10 on what's expected of you. How can we make that a 10? Or you don't like working here, and you gave it a 5 out of 10, what's going on? So basically just with 3 simple questions, 1 question put out every month, every quarter, we would have these reliable numbers that tell us how our organization is doing.